This just in from Aruba. The chief prosecutor doesn't like us very much. And tonight, we have a press release from the prosecutor's office all about the Natalie Holloway case. Your panel is back. Bernie, I want to read one paragraph from this press release. Actually, it's quite interesting. People should read all, but here it is. It talks about a witness that turned himself into Dave Holloway. It says, this witness has turned himself into Dave Holloway as we have been told. He has given a new statement, has undergone a lie detector test. According to the summary of the lie detector test results, a full report as promised to my office by Tim Miller was never received. The witness was considered to be reliable. The office never questioned the reliability of what the witness claimed to have seen, yet the value of his statement in the reconstruction of facts of that night is very limited. With his sole statement, this case could never be solved.
You know what was the witness goes in and says, I saw Vandersloot with watermarks up to his chest and a sandal in his hand, completely consistent with the fact that he had been in the water with the young woman and had her sandal. The witness then says, I think you should search the dam. He was coming from the dam. They said, we're not searching the dam. He said, I am certain that he was coming from the dam area. You should search it. That's where I think the woman is. They went back and forth. By the time they concluded that they should perhaps search the dam, it was dried up. I mean, search the dam and get it over with.
But he's not even willing to talk to this witness, right?
It's just beyond comprehension. The problem is, sorry to interrupt you, Ted. There's a young girl who's dead, and her parents are just, I can't imagine, or missing, and I can't imagine the pain that they're in each night.
But what you just said, he's not willing to talk to. Listen to what he's saying there. Dave Holloway, the father of Natalie Holloway, is bringing and doing something with the witness. What about the prosecutor? What is the prosecutor doing with the witness?
And the other thing is that we've brought him information and we've offered everything. But let me read another sentence to you. This is after everybody's brought them information. Dave Holloway, Tim Miller, everybody says, police and the prosecutor's office are being accused of not following leads in this investigation. Those allegations are unjust and unfounded. Jim?
Well, we should just replay this show from the last 2 months about all the leads, which you handed to them as an early Christmas present, and they wouldn't even call you and ask for it. I mean, it's absurd. The scary part is this. We all take good sport at taking shots at these guys and whatnot, but when somebody from the Dutch government says there's corruption, you need a fresh set of eyes to look at all the evidence. We have no idea what's in that file, and maybe one of us with an independent set of eyes said there is enough to prosecute this guy. I have no confidence whatsoever that they've even made the right decision, Greta.
Well, let me show you another part of this. Is that one part of it said he has he puts up in the middle of the page towards the end it says concluding, and then he gives his conclusion, and then suddenly he all of a sudden has another thought down here after concluding. He says, furthermore, after the concluding, then he goes after us. He goes after recently Fox broadcast an interview you're on. You could tell we got under his skin, but I make this promise to him tonight. I make this promise tonight. He can have every piece of information I have, the first generation I have. This is just bizarre. Michael, you were a prosecutor.
You know what? I was taught as a prosecutor, not only do you have to do justice, but you have to give the appearance of doing justice. And even if, and I don't believe for a second that they're doing justice down there, but they're certainly not giving the appearance of it. What he's doing is a DA, what I call a DA hubris. They won't listen to anybody at times. They know best. They're like a human lie detector in his own mind. What he's doing is wrong. They ought to replace him. I know that Hans Moss inherited this, and I bet he wished he was never transferred down to Aruba, but he did inherit this situation. He should have straightened it out. Now they have to bring somebody else in, so at least they give the appearance that they're doing justice down here. Bring somebody else in, let them dig into this and come to some sort of conclusion. Unfortunately, I don't think this will ever be solved.
Look, I don't want to get into a fight with Hans Moss, and you know I'm a little bit sarcastic, and I realize that. But I genuinely would help out and give him any information I have. Not that I'm saying that we have the information that's going to solve it, but at least we're trying, and we'll do anything.
Greta, it's not about getting in a fight. It's about the fact that you follow every lead, and if an investigator has someone who has some evidence that may or may not be good, you try to corroborate that. So you would anticipate that he would contact you instead of demeaning you in a news conference saying that you are conducting a wild goose chase. Give me a break.
No, actually, he took that statement out and put it on his press release. What I said was that we pursued some leads. We didn't know if it's a wild goose chase, but because there's this missing teen, at least we had the decency to go after. It might be a wild goose chase, but we're unwilling to just sort of think, oh, well, who cares?
And I mean, go ahead, Bernie.
Sorry. I mean, talk to Hammer and Cardoza. I mean, they're both prosecutors. I'm sure in prosecuting cases, they went on wild goose chases before, too. I mean, you got to. When lives are at stake.
You have to.
Well, here's Bernie, here's why you
can't even
have...
confirm it.
Well, here's why you have to go on those wild goose chases. Because defense attorneys will come into court and say, you didn't explore that lead. You didn't explore that lead. How do we know what you're saying is true? And that's why you have
court in this case, Mike.
No, you're right.
But the bottom line is that these 6 or 7 pages are just critical of what everybody else has done and why everybody else has done nothing, and they have not gotten up to do anything on their own initiative. At least this prosecutor hasn't in this press release. There are leads out there that could be followed. Some of them are wild goose chases, but the right one might be there.
Greta,
our offer remains, and we got to go. Yeah, Jim, you got a quick statement?
Real quick, I think the most interesting part of this, he says they have a couple last leads they're tracking down, and they plan a final confrontation with Iran. I don't have a lot of hope, but it sounds like they've produced some new stuff, so maybe there's more to tell in this story still.
We hope. Panel, thank you. Here's a look at what's coming up after this show on